So back in December, I did a video on LXD and LXC containers. And in that video, I briefly talked about my networking setup for my containers and how I have the game servers in those containers public facing. Now, if you're not familiar with Linux containers or LXD in general, go ahead and watch that video, because in this video, I'm not going to really explain what LXC or LXD is. We're just going to talk about my network configuration. Networking configuration in LXC is a somewhat common question, and people have posted a number of issues on the LXC GitHub about it. There's even an issue called network setup is too hard. Now, I don't know if I'd go that far, but what we're going to try to do in this video is basically the title of this issue: how to port forward for such as a web server. Kind of a weird title, but what he's asking is, how do you port forward into a container? Now with Docker, this is really easy with the expose command. For whatever reason, LXC doesn't have an analog to that. Instead, to accomplish this concept, what we're going to do is we're going to change the nictype from bridged, which is the default, to Macvlan or Macvlan. I'm not really sure how you say it. But basically what that does is it creates a new network device based on an existing device, but with a different MAC address so that your router can see it. So I'm going to be doing the LXD and networking stuff inside of a virtual machine, primarily because right now I don't have a reason to run LXD locally, and I try to keep my workstation as lean and mean as possible. So at this point, I already have the latest LXD and LXC versions installed from the official PPA, and this virtual machine is running Ubuntu 16.10. So we don't have any LXC containers created or running, so let's go ahead and create one based on Ubuntu 16.4. I guess this one's going to be called Glorious Cardinal. So once the creation of the LXC container is done, we can run LXC list and see it here in the listing. We can see that the container is running and it has an IP address that's based on the bridge connection. So this is the part that's somewhat unintuitive. You would think that if you wanted to change the nictype, you would change the network settings, right? Well, kind of. What you want to do is you want to either edit or create a new profile for your container to use. Now, arguably the correct way of doing this would be to create a brand new profile and put the Macvlan settings in there. But in this example, I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to go ahead and edit the default profile. So before editing the network settings in the profile, the first thing we're going to want to do is find the name of our network adapter. In my case, it is ENS33. Once we know the name of our network adapter, we'll run LXC profile edit default, default being the name of the profile. If you had created your own, then you would do LXC profile edit, the name of your profile. You get the idea. A really awesome thing about LXC is that all of the config files use YAML, which makes it really easy to read and kind of see what's going on. In this configuration, the only thing that we're going to change is in the devices section. We'll change the nictype from bridged to Macvlan, and we'll change the parent from LXD bridge 01 to the name of the network adapter. In my case, it is ENS33. Remember that yours will be different. And once you've changed those two settings, you'll exit and save. And now let's go ahead and restart the container. Whoops! VMware shut me down. The unfortunate part of this is not only did VMware completely take the network away from that container, but since this is VMware Workstation Player, I can't change the promiscuous mode. That's only available in VMware Workstation, not Player. So I've covered everything you'll need to get started making your containers accessible from your router. If you have security settings set up in your router, you'll probably still need to port forward from your router. But if you've set up your profile correctly, your container should have an IP address provided by your router. Now, because I wasn't able to fully demonstrate this in my VM, I'm going to go ahead and show you how it looks on my physical server. So this is my default LXD profile. You can see that the nictype is Macvlan and the parent is the name of the network adapter. And if I do LXC list, you can see the containers along with the correct IP addresses that are issued by my router. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So if you like this video and my other videos on LXC and virtualization, leave me a like and comment. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And yeah, thanks again for watching.